was really amazing. Yes, and I've never done that.
The next story that I wanted to bring to your attention, so I suppose includes a number of things. A friend of mine uses a phrase, moral backdating, where we look at the past and try to apply the mentality of today to previous events. As the culture undergoes an ongoing examination of sexual ethics and morality, with many people, and obviously myself, being investigated for alleged historic sex crimes, as a matter of fact, it's interesting to see how in some areas of the culture, there's still an advocacy for promiscuity and sexual freedom. The brilliant actor Charlize Theron was speaking on a podcast about her own sexuality and sex life and promiscuity as she approaches the age of 50, where she talks about having sex with younger men and having the best sex of her life. And I just wonder what this is an indication and how we place this with the important ideas about what a woman's role is and a woman's sexual freedom, as well as what the function of sex is in a culture that appears to be carrying out a pretty interesting inventory of its own moral center and understanding. Let's have a look at Charlize Theron.
I've probably had 3 one-night stands in my entire life.
Okay.
But I did just recently a 26-year-old, and it was really amazing. Yes, and I've never done that. And I was like, oh, this is great. Okay.
Let me just say, that 26-year-old is the luckiest man walking on this god planet. He's walking different today.
When I was the height of what I might call Hollywood fame, and certainly leading up to it, I made much of my promiscuity, sexual availability, a kind of almost sexual incontinence, mass availability, orgiastic. And I felt that was very much celebrated for that and that people approved of it. I didn't at that time think that I might be representing some convenient values that the culture was pushing for reasons that might be complex. Sage, I wonder, do you support Charlize Theron as a sort of a girl boss advocate for her own sexual potency, or do you think that there is something sort of morally off-center about what she was saying?
I think she's gross. And it isn't even about the 26-year-old that she slept with. It's the way, for me, the way she said it, and just unnecessary. Good for her. Go girl. Go get it. You're 50. I get it. I have a 5 in front of my age as well. But I guess my question is why? Why the need to say it in that way, in this braggadocious way? And it's just unnecessary and unladylike. And I know that I sound old-fashioned like that, but fine. I've been called much worse than old-fashioned and conservative in that way. As men, and Dave Rubin, just reverse roles here for a second, right?
I'll see what I can do. Yeah. I have quite an active imagination. Don't worry.
She's a beautiful woman. Forget about her talents. She's a beautiful woman. To me, if I'm a man, that makes her less attractive to me. Why so crass? You guys, tell me what you think. Am I off base here?
No, it was nice to hear of that very proper Gilded Age Sage Steele right there. You just can't deal with the improperness of her language. But that's actually the exact same thing that I was thinking. Let's put aside the sex for a moment. There was something about the way that she said it. If the girl had asked her the question and she would have said something like, I'm 52 or whatever. And believe it or not, I actually just in the last couple of weeks, I met this guy. He turned out to be 26. We went out for dinner, we blah, blah, blah. We had sex, and it was incredible because I've only been with men my age, and actually being with someone who was younger was there might have been some way to say it that would have made it feel less off-putting, I guess. And again, this may be a little bit what I said earlier about the difference between the way you look at men and women doing certain things as it pertained to those girls in Texas. For some reason, I guess there's something weirder to me about this is not a sexuality thing, but there's something weirder about hearing a woman talk about sex in a crass way than a man, I think. Is that maybe I'm now doing Gilded Age Dave too? So I'm with you, Sage.
I don't think men could anymore. I don't think that, if I was, within the institutions of established entertainment power, imagine Leonardo DiCaprio or any famous man saying, I fucked a girl half my age. That is not acceptable. But I think you made a really brilliant point about the language, because I think the language is quite deliberate now. It's about making it a kind of, this is my identity. Why shouldn't I fuck someone? You're right that rendering it and conveying it in that way seems important. It's like making it like, this is who I am. And also, by the way, I'm not talking about Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron's the child of God. She's whoever she is. But I'm saying that the culture is inviting forth a kind of sexual aggression and certainly assertiveness from women, I think possibly to help reorganize and redefine what a woman is. And of course, women are sexual and have always been sexual. But as I think we enter this peculiar age of bewilderment where people are invited to question what a man is, what a woman is, what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, what our roles are, I think it's interesting to have someone who's in a position of at least social power talking not only about a sexual encounter like that, but as you pointed out, Dave, talking about it in that way. And I think it's a sort of, probably in the same way that the revival of Oasis is an indication of a culture that's not sort of really sure what it believes in and what its values are and what is sacred and what is meaningful and what is beautiful anymore.
Russell, I know you'll appreciate this because of your once Hollywood life, but do you remember that restaurant? There was an Italian restaurant in Laurel Canyon. It was yes. I went there once, and you just mentioned Leonardo, and it was this really cool place because it was just this sort of like underground kind of hip Hollywood thing, really cool vibe in there. And I went there for dinner once, and Leonardo was there, and he was at a table. It was just him and 6 girls who all looked like, 23-year-old, basically. He had 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and he was sitting in the booth like this, just in the middle of all of them. And I remember thinking, like, what was he trying to show everybody there? What is he trying to show? And I don't know, you might have more insight into that, like that I can have sex with all of these girls, or am I maybe not having sex with any of them, but I want everyone to think I am having sex with them, or whatever it is. But you almost can't even picture the reverse of that. What would be the reverse of that? A young Hollywood actress out with 6 guys would be extremely bizarre. Except when Sage Steele does it.
Except when I do it
in Fort Lauderdale.
It's fine if I do it.
Yeah.
You know what? I just think it's also like a time and place thing. And I guess that was the time and place on Call Her Daddy. And the host has made the millions of dollars talking about, giving women advice on how to give the best blowjobs. Like, so great time and place by Charlize Theron. Know your audience. Fine. Charlize Theron has 2 daughters as well. I wonder if she would be fine with them speaking like this publicly.
Wait, isn't one of her daughters a boy now also? Or
right. That's right.
Oh, the boy became, I guess she had a son that became a, well,
I didn't know. I had completely forgotten about that. So
yeah.
I think that's one of each. And I don't know, as a mother, and you all are parents of girls and boys, I believe quite often it's not about what we preach to them, it's what we practice and our actions. And I think that there is probably, and this is well established, a desensitivity to sex and the meaning of it. Certainly in our culture, it's just gotten more and more prevalent that it's not a big thing. Go for it. I don't know. I have 2 college-age daughters and a son, and I hope that they can be as comfortable as they want to be with their sexuality. But I've always preached, man, like, you are special and you are a child of God and you are a young woman and no one deserves you unless you, this is getting way too deep, but like, as a mother of daughters, I would be mortified. If Charlize's mother is still alive, like, she must be so proud. I'm being super judgy right now, but as a mother and a daughter, it made me uncomfortable, but you do you.